Break times. When we come back, the best of times.
Senator John McCain, is his insurgent campaign against the GOP establishment for real, or is it just politically expedient rhetoric? I think it's the latter.
Listen, buddy, he's the only one telling the truth of all the Democrats or the Republicans.
Hey, man, Louis, little single here. Yeah. Oh. Well, the first year I came up with the tennis ball. Catch the ball, put the money in the ball. It's not algebra. It's marketing. First of all, it sells peanuts. But even more than that, the kids enjoy it. The fans, they have a good time with it. And that's what it's all about. Peanuts! Excuse me.
You're watching The Times on WAMI-69 with Ben Mankiewicz, and reports tonight from Jim Altman, Steve Alvarez, Alan Cohn, Danielle Serino, Faye Fredericks, Miguel Piedra, and Steve Oldfield. Those stories and more when The Times returns on WAMI-69.
For 2.5 years, we have produced this funky little alternative newscast called The Times, but this is it tonight. We've been canceled, the television equivalent of a Dear John letter, but with a severance package, which is nice. It's been an amazing ride. I've been fortunate enough to be here from the start. Unfortunately, not many viewers accompanied us for that ride. Here's a look at how we started and how we're ending.
A special investigation on escalator emergencies. Next.
Our basic premise was simple. Local news sucks.
The hidden dangers of trampoline tragedy.
Our basic mission more complicated. Reinvent local news.
I'm concerned because they want us thinking out of the box. But which box?
Our first anchor, Amy Atkins, got us out of that box on Show 1 exactly 2.5 years ago today, June 8th, 1998.
With so many local figures heading to jail, we wouldn't want the body politic to get flabby. So here's Kyle Joseph, manager of the Excess Gym in South Beach, with some fitness tips for folks in the slammer.
To the naked eye, it does look like a bunk bed. This is Stairmaster right here in front of us. Good deep breath, inhale, exhale, step, 2.
From that show on, we aimed to tell stories other stations wouldn't dream of airing. From serious, hard-hitting journalism,
I'll be able to live human now. Won't have to eat out of dumpsters and scrounge around.
To less serious, hardly airable stories.
But there's a controversy brewing about the new Tarzan toy by Mattel. I've got it right here. Critics complain that the toy is obscene.
Funny, sure, but it's hard to imagine a Tarzan doll pleasuring himself is what Barry Diller had in mind when he launched The Times as an alternative to the sleaze and cheese of typical local news.
You just can't watch. It's unwatchable.
CNN featured The Times in a story last year and spoke extensively with Diller.
They all look cookie-cutter alike. I mean, it's the same blazer and the same, you know, they all are the same person.
There was nothing the same about The Times. But in our effort to stand alone, we had a few ugly moments. Truth be told, we had hundreds of ugly moments. May 1999, our month-long Weather Babes segment.
Sunny skies are in store for the Northeast. New York will see a pleasant 72 degrees.
Sorry. Keep going. You actually have to read. That's the problem.
But political coverage was our signature. We were insightful, irreverent, and arguably irresponsible.
You know, if you put a pot of honey in a forest, bears are going to come along and put their paws in it.
He talks to himself. He spaces out. He looks like he's about to drool. But as long as he's paying the bills, Steve Forbes can be as weird as he wants to be.
It's the Magic City, all right. A city where dead people vote, drug runners service airplanes, and politicians always have their hands out, and sometimes even behind their backs.
Campaign 2000. It's time we went out on a limb and made a bold prediction about the presidential election. So can we get a little bold prediction drum roll, please? Okay, here we go. The race for president will be close. You heard it here first.
What struck me is it's sort of like broadcasting with sort of a wise-ass attitude.
I like what you've said, because what you said is broadcasting with an attitude. We're after personality. We think personality's mostly gone.
Personality? We had plenty. Perhaps too much.
If you shoot at an officer and jeopardize his life and jeopardize all those other people, you're fair game, and whatever happens to you, that's your risk.
Does Hillary get a lot of mail? I mean, what's the story here?
She gets a lot of mail.
You have any mail for her now? Maybe a Newsweek, People?
It's in New York.
Teen People?
It's in New York.
Tiger Beat?
Nope.
Playgirl?
If the Chad doesn't fall, it's too close to call.
In the end, unbelievably, the presidential election lasted longer than we did. Our final Chad has fallen. Diller's bold experiment has to be considered a failure. But there is nobility in the effort, and no one will ever say we didn't try. If we're to have an epitaph, it should be the words of our first anchor, Amy Atkins. We tried to do something great, and sometimes we did.
Break times. When we come back, the best of times.
Senator John McCain, is his insurgent campaign against the GOP establishment for real, or is it just politically expedient rhetoric? I think it's the latter.
Listen, buddy, he's the only one telling the truth of all the Democrats or the Republicans.
Come on, Louis, little single here. Yeah, well, the first year I came up with the tennis ball. Catch the ball, put the money in the ball. It's not algebra, it's marketing. First of all, it sells peanuts. But even more than that, the kids enjoy it. The fans, they have a good time with it. And that's what it's all about. Peanuts! Excuse me.
You're watching The Times on WAMI-69 with Ben Mankiewicz, and reports tonight from Jim Altman, Steve Alvarez, Alan Cohn, Danielle Serino, Faye Fredericks, Miguel Piedra, and Steve Oldfield. Those stories and more when The Times returns on WAMI-69.